going to share about role play, and it will be split in 5 parts. So A, B, C, D, E, 5 parts. And this is part A, which is just about the basics. When we learn the basics of everything, no matter how good we get or professional, it all comes back to the basics. And the more you get to enjoy the basics, and the more you get to realize that when you do dancing, you have these basic steps, and on every dance, when you do Chinese calligraphy, the basic strokes are 5, and the character of the symbol is called eternity. So you have these 5 strikes. That's like the whole alphabet of the Chinese calligraphy, Japanese and all this. And you have the basics, basically, of every science. I am doing these videos to, I wouldn't say teach roleplay, because I am writing about it, and I am sharing really everything on my Facebook page, but it's on private. So till it's not really, there needs to be done a lot of papers to have and people to make this by law, because it's the new world coming through roleplay and virtual reality. Because of the reason of having to patent these laws and having a lot of work to do with the people who have been involved through many years, no matter if it's your friend or not, but it's a matter of work, not really about crediting anyone. It's just so the work happens. With regards to what I'm going to share here, is just what everybody knows in a very basic way. I do know a lot of things that might be explained in another time. While you're watching me, who knows how much time it's been already. So, well, I'm looking here because this is where I have my chart with all my studies. And yeah, role play and internet is an interactive form of writing stories with many people. It's not a line as you would write a book. It's not a movie. It's not a movie script. And it's not a book that you would just open and read. You have no main character, like in movies, or main characters, because every character has its own story and main, like that little glimpse is also part of the masterpiece that is a shared collective in a story, and everyone matters, really. This is something not many people have come to really understand. That's why I'm here. I am here to bring out to the light and to materialize these laws. Everyone will be cool when the time comes anyways. So first we have a storyline, then we have building character, and then we have the writer, which is what we call out of character, OOC. So with these three is how you get basically everything. In the storyline, you have the first law of roleplay, and that is the law that will always continue through all roleplay, is follow the line. Follow the line, that was the basics when we started roleplaying. Everyone would follow the line, and if you delete it or block, you lose. That used to be before. before the millennia existed. And when you follow the line, you must also, there is follow the line and then, adapt to the changes. Or, go beyond with the changes. What's for you to go beyond with your imagination? It's not that you have to adapt, you can just make up your own story, right? Normally it's according to what's been given already in a storyline. I find many people who cheat and they don't accept what's being written, and there is a lot of problems there with people who do not role play as it should be. We have people that don't follow the line now. We have people who cheat in all the ways because there are no laws. They think good and bad exist. And that everything is fine because you can do whatever you want. You can, it's not. You cannot do many things like bullying, harassing. You cannot talk bad about someone in the private. You cannot be copying people's copyrights of their stories. You cannot be copying their characters. You already belong to a community where you're already known with this character. So if you want to make this character, do it, but just don't try to break another person's story, because that is already in the collective of everyone. So this is how people have won now, by creating a lot of all this breaking of these laws. So it's like the devil owns roleplay right now. They do a lot of domains and they just harass people if they don't follow what they want, and they have sex with many women in the private. So you can have all these people doing a lot of domains for you, and you don't want anyone to be in real life with. So this is what's come today, and all these people become your bullies also. Also, let's not talk about the hackers and a lot of things, because I don't know why no one is breaking down the pages as they used to do in MySpace. They used to destroy your websites. These are the same people, more or less, there. This is when you come in the world of role play. You have to understand that when you achieve a certain stage of power through winning a lot of things, you have to know how they won that, because they're a great writer, because they have great imagination, because they have a voice, they're telling a story. Till what stage is this reality, a shared reality? Because you cannot have a shared communal reality if people are not sharing stages as scenarios. They choose the groups, and they want all the scenarios to be in the group. It's like, okay, you're Tony Stark. Once you get out of your office and your building, you're entering unknown zone. So if you want to be the villain and the hero and everyone to be in your little group, then you cannot role play. Of course, you will role play like insect, not too far, and it's fine. But these are not really. This is not really how role play should be. There should be more dynamic. If you have to go into an enemy, you take all your team, and then you are in outer space. Maybe outer space doesn't belong to anyone, because it's not like the Earth where you touch the air, or mostly ocean and earth. It belongs to countries, right? So when you go in the space, you can, but if you're really landing in somebody's scenario, then, or you just build up something that belongs to nobody, and you roll you build a stage then, and you share there. It doesn't really matter who builds it. The concept is of having a key to reality where things can move back and forth and people have a lot of things going on and opportunities. It's not sustained by one person controlling their group. So they will never grow like that. So we have laws that protect the freedom of wilderness and at the same time protect freedom of the imaginary, right? How can you imagine if you are short-minded? It's impossible. So that's a storyline. I have already said what's going to be an encyclopedia in a few minutes. That's storyline in roleplay. You have many people there, so it depends in what stage you are. And now in the last years, thanks to all these millennials, you only have one by one storylines, a lot. Stories that are already directed with an end, so everybody writes knowing what's going to happen. And one by one, it's just two people doing a story. And there's really they have to put open topics, but still they have to. So it's not really imagination there, because so I don't know, that's like going, even if you are a toddler, you have a lot of creativity to move with, right? You're just exploring everything. All right, so the storyline is so beautiful when you follow it, and your imagination starts to meld with everything that you are studying and you're researching in history, science, comic books, historical characters from books as well, science fictional, and all sorts of characters that you can also make canon or non-canon characters, just characters you can create yourself. I was maybe one of the first who started that. I was one of the first studying a lot of things. I won't be credited because I've been just I've just been 3 years writing for the rules of roleplay and studying all these patterns. So, and now we have in character what is to build character. So when you are in character, I see you kind of like, okay, you can study the character, right? And it depends. Now, for me, I would take 3 months before getting on character. Some characters might be easier, and some characters, they need to come to you because sometimes they have a voice of their own, these characters. I think they have a voice these characters do have a voice of their own. If you find out that you're just a channeler there, making it all up through the creative, right? You can kind of change this character into your own belief. It doesn't have to be necessarily what's said in the book. Yeah, you can put things that were never said, but it has to be believable. It has to have a truth related to what's being already written. For example, in Greek mythology, we have many myths around one story, meaning we have many stories that, because the stories were just told from generation to generation, so nobody has a credit right, or it's never been published. So there are many stories around just one single story, and maybe they all contradict, but they all kind of match to a certain vibration what this story means. The beauty of storylining and understand the character is that you can turn a story about this character into something that is not true, and you can relate and in the story and say why. Yeah, so but then your character has to understand that that you used to be this, now you're that, and you're going through this. And I mean, there is a movement, or you have a backstage to this reality, and then you maintain the character in that stage when I was writing about being like that. So the importance of a character that is being built to be understood, it has to be real. That's in any concept you would call it a virtual reality, but it's real. It has to be believable. It has the truth. All right. So you have beautiful voice for each character as well. And each character, one of my things that I have lately been sharing online these past months is that a character has a voice of its own and a sound to it. Not only a sound, but a rhythm as well, and a gravity or height. Yeah, so tuning in with this essence is very important. I sometimes sit for hours listening to music to tune with this character, but it's not the music what I'm looking or the style. What I am looking is for something that's kind of like the spirit of this character that sounds through a certain particular vibration. I don't look for music that it has words. I'm looking for beats on YouTube. I'm looking for sounds that are so you have all kinds of music to do research on. Role play is the eighth art. The seventh art is the cinema, which has the seventh arts. Role play is the eighth art in virtual reality. So I want you to know that whatever happens, you can take it or leave it. It's there. It's there from past, present, and future. And it's beautiful to have these laws to protect people to keep being a human being and to have the biological order of human touch, and maybe for humans to learn how to be better people, to interact in a better way, to understand psychology, to understand neurology and psychiatry as well. All right, building character. One of my favorite things, and each one has their own methods, is studying traits of psychology, of psychiatry. So when you're studying mental illness, I pick what this character has, and now it's more common, and they put it right in the side that what mental illness, what traits they have. They don't call it mental illness because mental illness is going to be erased from our vocabulary, really, because we all have all these beautiful traits that makes character more interesting. Real life is very boring. I mean, people are normally just hiding all their weakness, which is that's the way you should be, because they're gonna attack you for that. So you better be perfect and nice and say nothing if you want to maintain, just working peacefully. That's the way we should be, right? When we are doing writing a piece of art or a composition of music, we like to embrace ourselves and humanity. So sometimes we have to go deep in what we're really feeling, I remember one of my last stories, it was just Siren. She was singing to a woman who was working. I was basically writing about myself with a normal job, and this mermaid was singing to her, which is my imagination back from the backstory. This character was singing actually to me because I was just so hurt from work. So hurt. So this character is in the beach crying, and the story doesn't say it, but you could tell. That's one of the things I love, but that's not related to story. I love the mystery. I don't like to put to people, look, this is what it is. No, I love the arts, just enjoying it and not really knowing and maybe grasping does she mean this? But yeah, it seemed like this girl just wanted to, to kill herself because, I mean, that's one of my things. I mean, the people are so horrible sometimes. I was educated. I was educated. So good, so much love. I went to the School of the Prince of Spain. I went to a hippie rich school in Devon. So I mean, we'd never seen a fight. And then I was in New York. I had a wonderful life, but now I have to work with people that are horrible, that nobody would believe it. So having to relate this and then trying to recycle and then all this, like anyone in my shoes would love to just erase yourself, because there's no way out unless you just write it. So writing is, I mean, I deleted all my friends, so I lost my capacity to write because so much violence in this world. They stole everything of mine, even what I was writing, the rule of roleplay. So I could save this that I got from a website. So you have many verses in roleplay going back. Well, my character was singing the siren, like to you can tell through the story what was saying. But what I mean is that all these traits are helping you to develop yourself or heal or at least contemplate, because sometimes you don't know everything. You don't know why you have so much pain. It's sometimes you cannot understand really why people can be so mean, why people can be so deceptive, like pure evil, why people would lie, why people would not recycle. I mean, if you have a great design, what's the problem in calling? What's the people like? Why are people so really like? I really think, why are these people on this earth? Why do I have to share this earth with these people? And it's really like, I would just like to go. So when you start writing, you also find this kind of people are not capable of sharing a story unless they're bullying or making someone suffer so they can feel they're greater. And this kind of information in history should end. We have to, if we're going to survive this, because who knows, I might not be here tomorrow. Like, we all go sometime when we're older, or so it doesn't really matter who we are, but what we did. We leave something good, then it's worth it, right? So talking about building character and what is to be in character and all the traits, how can you do all these things, and how does also affect you as a writer? Because you have many different types of people. There are people who work and have values in real life. And there are people who live from government, or they are living from their parents. So these people don't really know what this world is about. They might cry because of anything and get the attention from the family, and they bully their family as well. So, or they're not connected with anything really. You can have times like that in your life, like this. But there is some people who've never made their own choices in life or risked anything. They've been always living by under a certain free way of, just follow what you like this, and then you have people who work, and then you have people who work, but they do have a voice where they work, because that they are, they are different kinds of people. You can work, but being a manager of whatever, it doesn't mean you are a person that has a voice. You got that place because you follow the rules, and you got that, and then you're an agreeable person. An agreeable person is great to have, to hire, because they will do everything you say. You don't want people to think, right? And there's a mistake, doesn't matter, but everything is fine, and everything is like that, and that's it. And then there's people who have a voice, and they work with that. And it could be in any job to have a voice, even manager. That would be a phenomenon. Or in evolved countries where they are starting. Not every evolved country has that, but it's grooming. We've been all working for this, so people, employees, and workers can have a little more of interactive inner voice through the entity of the job, for what matters most, of course, and just that. So learning to do role play also teaches you to do human interaction at work. So you have these two things, right? So it's like the evolution from monkey. Yeah. And the values you play with, the values that you achieve, the values that you can transform. I mean, death can also be a great transformation. And that's also part of role play. I want to bring, if I'm still alive, I want to bring the underworld from the Greek gods and the Chinese gods and the Hindi gods, and even the Muslims have the Dijins from the underworld, and the Egyptians is called the netherworld. So, and there are many stages, and there's the upper world were the gates of heaven. Then you have many time frames, and you have towards science fiction on many planes farther in the future. So all this is a huge map from all verses. Like each verse for a storyline has, for example, you have historical characters, you have verses that are from the comic, verses that are vampire, the guys from Harry Potter, the verse from the Lord of the Ring. These are verses. Then you have anime, and you have so much going on, and some share a time frame, some are timeless, they're just exist, like Pokemon. When is, I think Pokemon is I don't know from what time is that, it's just there. Maybe because he's wearing jeans, you would put it, okay, he's from so I mean, from this era, the characters that are being created are timeless. Then you have Greek mythology. That's different kind of timeless. So creating character is very involved of your stage and your verse. And I believe that if there is to be a law for characters to only melt with 3 verses, no more, to make it more sophisticated and more real. And if they are going to blend with another verse, they do have to follow by law certain storylines for a reason to have a connection to that. They have to achieve a storyline and not just one chapter, but I perceive many from another character and source. So it's like I'm giving it. I shouldn't be giving it away, everything I know, but or think to know. I will always love to doubt in myself as well. So all this will be discussed anyways. And well, OOC, out of character. So, okay. I already said was to be in character, what it takes. Some people, well, I put candle, I tune with music, looking for it. Sometimes it takes time. Some characters take longer to get in character because maybe it's the opposite sex, or because this character is evil, and you are normally not in that vibration. Like, for example, I some characters, if I'm a woman, I can do out of character a lot. But if I am in a character that's not really like, has not much of me, I remain on character even in the private. I say, okay, I am out of character, but I'm kind of in character. Meaning, like, don't be too friendly with me, like I'm still on character, right? So, people love to write in all sorts. That's something you know by now, or you just will find your own way of creativeness without no one to teach you, really. Sometimes I feel that nobody will learn, and I'm afraid that this could be a disaster if I don't make an initiative to share everything that I have explored, like writing in the private with many characters, or just so much. There's so much really incredible, beautiful. I wish also characters to die and pass through the underworld and be able to rebirth into a new character, or have laws where they can be called back to life if some stories are being done through other characters. Then it's a legitimate story. So when you are zip-zapping between being in character and being out of character, because people joke around it in the stream, I would love to take the stream that you find like in Facebook. I would like to take it out of roleplay, so it goes back to how it used to be in MySpace. The beauty of that is that the stories were more real. Now you have people like it's very disgusting. I've even lost my appetite for the last years. You have people posting a lot of like memes and a lot of like it looks like a publicity thing. People looking to have friends and and you can feel it. You can feel it like, and you're still there like, can't believe it, all this, and then okay, you pause and you're creative and all that, and sometimes it's like you're fishing to get a story, to get inspired. What do I catch? So I realized that I have a problem in my mind because I was used to story in one way. And of course, I've done a lot of stories and a lot of fun in stream, but it's just like being a liner, and it's much self-consuming. I don't. There has to be changes where you can look into the system and create your own settings, and your character is known to not be a person who streams. So people you can just take out of the stream and just write in the groups or look at the board bulletins. That would be good enough. And because it takes a lot of inspiration to write a story and to feel in tune with that. So then it's just all this thing, like if you are, walking, trying to walk, and it's just all these cars in you have no light to tell you when to cross the street, and you're just walking, trying to see when are you going to move to make your story. So it's so much traffic going in the stream that people think it's fun and people think they're being read, but the stories have no content because they just write a lot of stories to be known and keep posting, and the stories are shallow with no role play with everyone. They even write to their own characters because there is the connection of role play has been lost. But of course, it needs a scientist to know about it. Any person seeing the patterns could understand. I'm not interested in having a lot of likes and friends for that. I like quality, and I'm used to get very high with a lot of things going on from everyone. And that's when you lose yourself completely. You get loose. It's not seen in the right way. I just found that piece of paper that I wanted to write about getting loose. So these are the main topics, key topics about what is roleplay. Storyline, getting in character, and what is being out of character, which is you in your real life, which is called RL. You get to lose yourself because you start to understand the whole humanity within your own. And then you come back to yourself and say, wow, there's so much things that you're like, wow. So there is still a lot to touch and develop. There is a lot to experience. Like I would love to go to the jungles of Africa or the deserts and just have my red painted face. Yeah, and a lot of things. So far, so good. Let's hope to keep alive and enjoy. We'll be coming with another video very soon. Yeah. Okay. Thank you for watching.